stand up for your right. I don't hear you. Get up, stand up. Don't give up the fight. Some people will tell you there can be justice under the system, but what I want to tell you, I can't get no justice here. And now you see the light. Stand up for your rights. Oh, get up, stand up. Where's Anna Willits going? Stand up. Anna Willits, where you going? Get up, stand up. Don't give up the fight. Well, we're sick and tired of the...
I'm just really excited to be here, and I'm excited that all these other people are here with me. It really is motivating to see the solidarity of people coming together to ensure that we maintain our connection to humanity in the city and to serving the people who make this city a city. So I'm excited that everyone's here.
I'm excited about being here today at this mass meeting because we're actually going to hear what people in Toronto have to say, and I think Ford should pay a lot more attention to the people in the city as opposed to the private accountants that he's hired that I feel that we really shouldn't be listening to.
Welcome to Dufferin Grove! So we're here on an urgent basis to build an urgent fight to show that we oppose this agenda and that we are going to unite across all kinds of lines to build a collective fight back against this. The core demands of Stop the Cuts are, so stop cuts, expand services, and no handouts to corporations and to cops.
I'm representing the child care group. We oppose all cuts to child care services and highlight the negative exponential effects they have.
This budget crisis doesn't really make any sense to me. Basically, I see it as a political attack on our communities. They're using their revenue cutting as an excuse to ravage the services that we rely on, and I refuse to stand by and accept this. I'm not having it. And
our city run in terms of safety, health, sustainability, affordability, accessibility, and inclusivity of our community, and not run like a business.
And in the area of expand, we want affordable, decent, accessible, democratically planned and managed homes. Everyone deserves a decent home.
First of all, we just wanted to say that all cuts to services will affect the LGBT community. That people who are LGBT in the queer community ride bikes, their kids go to nutrition programs, their kids are in public daycare spaces, that they're a part of the community, and that we want to our first demand is that we reject the homophobic agenda of this government and the way it has legitimized systematic homophobia.
We're representing Rexdale and Jane and Finch. And we're here not asking Rob Ford, but we're telling Rob Ford to stop cutting our vulnerable communities, cutting services that affect our children, our families, and our elderlies.
We know that these cuts are going to affect the most vulnerable in our communities first, and that is what we want to say to this administration. You cannot attack the most vulnerable in our community without attacking all of us.
All right, honestly, I heard some media talking before, and one of the things they said was, how many people do you think are here? Like 150, 200, when 1,000 people were in the park? So knowing that, the $774 million budget deficit is an exaggeration and a manufactured crisis that is being used as an excuse to cut services, hike user fees, privatize public services, and lay off workers. Knowing that city services are already insufficient, already inaccessible, especially for undocumented people, Indigenous people, poor and racialized people, people with disabilities, parents, queer and trans people. And knowing that the city is planning to cut services and lay off workers during an economic crisis. They are making these cuts at a time when we desperately need more, better services, and good jobs. So knowing all that, the Toronto Stop the Cuts Network and our allies, we conducted our own street polling in the poorest neighborhoods in Toronto, and we surveyed over 700 people this summer. We organized meetings in Riverdale, the Downtown East, Parkdale, Davenport Perth, Rexdale, Jane Finch, Teesdale, and Crescenttown. And today, on September 10th, 2011, we called a historic mass meeting, and we brought together people from across the city, such an amazing diversity of people, to lay out our demands for City Council. And so here it is. We, the people of Toronto, demand all public services are vital to communities. We reject any attempts to divide and conquer by pitting community groups against each other in a battle for funding. We demand access to services to all people. We reject all hikes to user fees and all cuts, including, but not limited to, transit, daycare, elder care, public health, arts grants, housing, libraries, parks, recreation, shelters for survivors of violence, community centers, immigrant and language services, food programs, environmental programs, farmers markets, and cycling infrastructure. What an amazing list of things that we have and need to keep. Our city is growing, and service levels are already insufficient. We demand that City Council do their job and lobby higher levels of government to ensure sustainable funding to expand services in this city. Good public services are what ensure safe communities. We demand that the city police budget, which just, by the way, increased by 12% this year, should be cut. Those funds should shift to programs that counteract systemic oppression faced by vulnerable groups. Safe communities need women's services. They need senior democratic, unlike our counterparts in City Council. We've read to you your declaration that is sort of an amalgamation of all the different ideas that you've come up with. So if everyone can now vote collectively, who is in favor of us taking this People's Declaration to the deputations at the 19th, to City Hall on the 26th, 27th, and using this as a mandate in our fight against Ford's cuts? Hands up! So on behalf of this mass meeting and Toronto Stop the Cuts, we'll put out this declaration. It'll be up on all the Twitters, Facebooks, blogs, social media, but we will be bringing this to City Council. And you, the people of this city, have given us a people's mandate, a strong declaration of why we need to fight. And this will carry us through to the fight at City Council now and beyond as they come after our services. Thank you guys so much for all your work today.
Everybody